Evening, everyone. I was hoping we would get through the evening without a severe thunderstorm warning, but due to several of the reports that were coming out, the National Weather Service went ahead and issued this severe thunderstorm warning, and we are looking at winds for 60 mile per hour and hail a little bit smaller than an inch. But I'm gonna go in real quick and show you all. This is actually right over the office, so they're dealing with a lot of it right now as well. So I'm gonna go in real quick and show y'all where the velocity of winds are, and it looks like the strongest winds right now are going to be right going down Main Street in Hendersonville, going right toward Bluegrass Meadows and going straight towards south of Gallatin. Let's see. Sorry, I was taking a drink of water when this came out, so forgive me, my voice is a little given out today, so. Alright. I might switch over. Let's see if it will let me switch over to Radar Omega, which is what you see down here. I'm going to actually bring this up. That is one of our weather cams that you're seeing with all the storms coming in. I'm going to do a ETA line in a minute. Let me. Boom. There we go. I'm going. All right. Once again, if y'all are getting any reports of tree damage, structure damage, or any of y'all have weather stations that are saying what mile per hour winds gusts you are getting, feel free to drop them in and I will shoot them over to the National Weather Service. I'm going to draw. I'm just going to go down here. Looks like a big mess because it right now it is right close to the radar. So right now it looks kind of condensed. So I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna just shoot out right here. All right, I'm gonna zoom in real quick. So it is gonna be a little bit south of Gallatin, around 109 area, about 7. It says 7:45, but I feel like that's why in the world is it moving? No, okay, this didn't work out as I wanted it to because it's not moving at 0 miles per hour, so it's not going to let me do it. There is no concern for tornadoes with this. This is a plain, simple, high shear, low instability kind of event. And that basically means we do have a lot of twist, but we don't have the energy that the storms to really pulse, which is why I'm surprised this we got a severe thunderstorm warning, but that is because of the reports of tree damage and wind speeds. It just hit the pocket just right, and that's because of the high shear that we have in and around our atmosphere. It just hits the right area, and that's why we have the severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to jump in and see real quick. I'm going to switch back over to our weather-wise because I like how. So it looks like the wind speed, the increased one right now, is right at the office where the National Weather Service office, which is right on Old Hickory Lake. So it looks like they're getting the worst of it right now. So Hendersonville, you're right now getting gusts of right around 30, 25. See, there's 30 right there. 29, 33. So I just, I'm not really, I don't like that it went straight to a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm just, I'm going to look real quick and see what the office said they are reaching with their wind speeds because it is hitting at them right now. Because the reports that are coming out, there are street flooding as well coming out for around areas too. So we have reports coming in from a lot of it's around the airport area. I believe B&A earlier had 30 something. They just have 40 miles per hour at B&A airport. Then Tune Airport, let's see, was a 58.7 right now. So that is the reason why they went ahead and did a severe thunderstorm warning. But once again, there is no concern for a tornado. Absolutely. I know there is a tornado watch down below us, all the way in Mississippi and Alabama, but nothing for here. So I don't really even think there's any hail. I'm just going to look at, no, not. I'm with you. That's why I sound awful right now, is because sinuses have been, my ear has been ringing all day today with what we had earlier this week with below 10 degrees and feels like -4 degrees to, I believe the high today almost reached 60. I'll have to check on that, but I believe the high today was 59. And then for Christmas, we were looking at possibly 60 degrees for Christmas. So my voice and my sinuses are really giving me a fit. So I apologize if I have to stop and do water. I feel like it's a whole year. The whole year this year has, my sinuses have been and allergies have been awful. Let me drop back to reflectivity. Let's see. I'm going to explain a little bit on radar why we do have this severe thunderstorm warning, because when I got to meet a couple of people giving out, I know I need to go ahead and do our gift card person because it's a Starbucks gift card. I'm going to have to delay that until we get through this severe thunderstorm warning, so I apologize for that. But I'm going to explain because a little bit of people have said, how do we read radar? So for radar, right now what you're looking at is reflectivity. And this basically shows and tells meteorologists how heavy the rain is. And it's all based on where the radars are. As you can see, the radar I'm using is our National Weather Service office here in Nashville, which is where they are located. So the radar is at their office. So it's very close to Hendersonville and Gallatin and Mount Juliet. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse because you can see where the winds are very close to the ground, the closer you are to the radar. So once again, reflectivity tells us how heavy the rain is. So y'all can guess, the rain just poured. And I believe they had the sounding, and I did a little bit of a social media post on what the sounding that they got up before the storms hit. And it kind of explains why we're seeing the things we are seeing. So the next thing I want to show you is velocity, which this is where we look at with what I was showing y'all earlier with wind speeds. And this is another great tool that we look at, meteorologists look at for when there's rotation. Because this is the perfect example is green is where the winds are going toward the radar. So you see how the radar is right here and it's all green on that side. That's because the winds are going toward the radar. Let me see if I can get my drawings. Let's see if it'll let me draw on here so that, because that would be, I apologize, I'm not an artist. So the winds are going toward the radar. And then the reds, the winds are going away. So this is really not the best example because if you have reds or greens, that's what we really look at if there's really rotation. So right now there's really no rotation. This is the high shear that I've talked about and that meteorologists have talked about for a couple of days. With this is the high shear event, but no really energy that the storms have. So most of the storms are going to stay low. This one just hit the atmosphere at the right time for it to pop up into a severe thunderstorm warning. So when you do see reds and greens together, there's really not a good example on this. But if they're going like this, that's where we do see rotation. That's when we do look at if there's a tornado. But no worries. Once again, there's no concern for a tornado. That's why I'm really taking the time to explain radar to y'all, because I'm just not really concerned with this warning right now because I'm not seeing any other reports right now coming in. So if I go quiet a little bit, I'm looking at social media to see. There's just one of me, so I'm looking at all sorts of things saying, hey, is it rough? Is it... A lot of things I'm seeing right now are the wind and rain was really rough, especially in Gallatin and Portland. There are a couple of power outages that I feel like there was a power... Main Street had a power outage for, I think most of it's still out, even hours later, so I would not be surprised. So Hendersonville, they did update this severe thunderstorm warning. So Hendersonville, you are completely clear of the severe thunderstorm warning. South of Gallatin, just hang in there. You got a little bit more, around 36 minutes. So I'm still not really worried because I feel like the worst of the wind is actually not in Sumner. It's in Wilson County. So I'm going to real quick. Another radar thing that we look at is correlation coefficient, which it looks like a big mess, doesn't it? So what we really look at is, when I was showing you the velocity, meteorologists really look, if there's the couplet, we say, with the reds and greens together, we really look at the correlation coefficient. That's like a mouthful to say. And we look for stuff kind of like this. No, there's nothing right now because it's just a mess. So, but if it matches up to where the rotation is, that is where we can say it means there's debris up in the air that's not raindrops. Because you see all this red and stuff like that, that shows that it's raindrops. But if it's like blue like this, it can really mean hail. Or there's something like trees, leaves, or building debris if it connects with the rotation. So that's another way we can look at if there's a tornado on the ground. So don't worry about these little clumps right here. They're nothing. Because it doesn't match up with anything with velocity. So I'm going to go back to reflectivity so y'all can see where the heaviest rain is. Yeah, Westmoreland, the winds will continue to go and be gusty for the rest of tonight. I do believe a little bit tomorrow is going to be gusty as well. Just because that cold front's coming through in the back end of the cold front will keep the winds very gusty. So if you have Christmas stuff in your yard, it's probably already in your neighbor's yard. So if the rain has already been by, and if you don't see any lightning, I would go ahead and see if you can tie them down, especially throughout the night. But I'm gonna zoom out so I can show y'all what else is going on. Once this little line right here gets through, it's just gonna continue being a little bit rainy the rest of the night. The cold front right now is right. I know the line right here says the cold front's right there. It's actually a little bit right here, and you can really actually see these have actually these so right here the temperatures they actually haven't updated yet, so you can really see where the cold front is because the cold front has passed all of Arkansas and it's 46, 42 degrees. Well, here, let's see, Gallatin's airport is showing 59 degrees right now with a dew point of 59. So, but that was updated 17 minutes ago. And wind speed right then was 13, which I believe we had more than that. When I say the guests, I can tell here at my apartment, which is right on the edge of Davidson and Sumner County, I believe I had about 35 to 40 wind gusts possible. So, Westmoreland. I'm going to go back on velocity real quick just to see if that's. I'm not. You see these little pockets of bright colors right here, so that's where the strongest of the winds are. But man, the line looks pretty impressive, but it's not. It's just that typically heavy rain. So I'm going to go real quick and check on social media and see. I know earlier I said no severe warning or concerns. Yep. Mother Nature was like, yep, I'm going to do it just for Sumner County. Oh, yeah. Adam, it's definitely more than that. It was an update. It was taken like 17 minutes ago. I don't know the time frame of them updating. Because, see, up here in Portland said 19 minutes ago. I want to say it's updated every 20 to 30 minutes. I wish it was quicker than that. But it doesn't really help. I wonder if I'm going to switch over and see if. See, on Radar Omega right now it says 25, but that was updated. That was updated 10 minutes ago. So that's. I'm going to look at our weather cams real quick that has. See, the 10-second is 12 miles per hour. It's right now at 9 to 7, but I just don't trust that. All right. Westmoreland, you're not even in the warning. Bethpage, you're not in it. I'm going to flip back over and see if they are going to let it expire. Everything I'm getting so far was how the wind was intense. So if there's any reports, I know it sounds like a broken record. So if you do have any reports, if you're getting out now just with the main line gone and you notice some tree limbs down or any structure damage, which I don't really think there would be any structure damage with the winds weren't that high up for structure damage, but as soon as I say that, something's gonna pop up. I do think the main thing I was worried about is the ponding and flooding on the roads. Especially there's several places around Hendersonville, and especially White House, that love the flood and flood quickly. Let's see. No, poor little rabbit. He was more of a storm chaser than I am. I'm going to check real quick on power outages because I don't mind. I'm going to hit play and let the radar do a loop real quick. But once it this warning, Wednesday, cancel it or let it go for Sumner, I'm going to, since nothing really behind it is strong, I might just close out the loop and not do anything, but I'll still be on social media for any reports coming in. But I am going to check power outages real quick because someone did say there was power outages around Bluegrass, which is where I said earlier that had. Okay, definitely. Yep. I don't know if it's going to let me show y'all on this. But right now we do have 2,300 people or customers, which means like a household or something like that, without power right now. So 3.14% of Sumner County is out. And it looks like 1,200 of them are Cumberland, 960 is National Electric Service. I'm going to go on. I'll put a map of the outages on social media. Let's see. But let me know in the comments or anything if y'all do have power or not. I know mine flickered, and that's why I went off for a little bit, was because my power flickered and the computer went down. I need to start learning how to put it on hotspot, so in case that happens. I'm not seeing anything else. This is until 7:45. I do think we'll be cut out, especially Gallatin will be cut out shortly. I know Hendersonville, as you see on the radar, Hendersonville was already cut out earlier. But I would not be surprised if they. I just don't see that it intensified. It looks like it kind of intensified, but it's actually kind of looks like it's trying to do a bowing. As you, what you hear meteorologists say, a bowing segment, or how it's like a backward C, or trying to get that. That's where the winds in that high shear is pushing the storm forward. So I'm gonna go back on velocity to see if the wind's having. I'm just not seeing the winds being that impressive, really. But it does look pretty impressive with reflectivity. But once again, this is close to the radar, so I wonder if it'll let me do. Let's see if it's gonna let me do this. Don't think it's gonna let me come. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do a 3D. No, it's not gonna. It's not letting me do it. There's a thing on here that I could do a 3D, and it will show you kind of where the radar is, and it'll show you the beams. And so the closer we are to the radar, you can see how close it shoots out to all these storms. And if there's a storm far away, it goes through different other storms, or it gets the very top of the storm. I need to do a little weather 101 to explain that a little bit more because it's actually pretty neat, but it's, yeah, it's not letting me do it. I know WeatherWise and Radar Omega have been updating and doing all these crazy updates. Actually, let me see if it will. Nope, I want plus. And all of this is also on your phone and apps and stuff like that that you can get. They are paid. You can do like Radio Omega has like alpha, beta, and omega price ranges. But Weatherwise actually is free. But if you want like all the pro stuff, see, I pay for it on. This is what I've been using right now until I get some sponsors and all. I want to be able to switch over to Barren Weather, which is like a total upgrade, and I'm excited. I'm really hoping to be able to switch over to that, but gotta stick with these things because I really do love Weatherwise. It's really, I've had a couple people say that do weather, or they used to do Radar Omega and Radar Scope, because I first started with Radar Scope and then switched to Omega and then Weatherwise. And I've had a couple people said they have swapped over from Omega or Scope to Weatherwise because they love Weatherwise so much. All right, good. I figured they would. Okay, so they went ahead and canceled it. Good. I figured they would. So I'm going to drop off. I'm going to do a zoom out real quick to show y'all what. Okay, so here's the 3D. Let's see if that lets me do it real quick. Kind of does. We're going all the way under. So you can see how it's very low to the ground. You see the KOHX, that's the office. And you see how it kind of makes that slant upwards. So if there's a storm out here, like in Cookville or so, like when the radar beam shoots out, it's getting the very top of the storm. So the closer you are, the better you can really see what's happening closer to the ground. That's a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so y'all can see the big picture before I log off on live, but I'll still be here on social media. So if y'all do see any reports, once again, broker record. If you see any reports, send them my way and I'll send them to the National Weather Service. So the line is through and gone for us. So we're, oh, they went ahead and issued down there. So mainly we're just going to keep getting rain, rain, and rain until tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe the highs are barely going to be in the 40s. So once again, we're going to go up and down like the temperature roller coaster. So everybody's sinuses and allergies are going to ramp back up. So I'm going to go ahead and do Memphis's radar real quick so y'all can see what's behind. Nothing really, except for these little heavy rain pockets. But I don't think that will really reach us. Up here will, but it'll still just be heavy rain. There will be some wind gusts. So if you hear anything really scary, there's no tornado threat. It's just going to be windy until the front moves completely through, and then the back end of the cold front will be windy as well. So hopefully y'all can go ahead and get y'all's Christmas decorations tied down. I probably should have said that before today. Sorry, I've been running around trying to do Christmas shopping that I've waited to the last minute to do, along with everybody else. So I'm gonna log off. I'm gonna do our day. Wait, is it day 6 or day 7? I can't. That's bad. I can't remember. Gift card winner. I believe it's day 7. So, and it was a Starbucks gift card. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'll put that on social media. And then tomorrow's gift card, I had it written down. I believe it was Chili's, or the other, or tomorrow's. Yeah, tomorrow's is Chili's, I believe. I'll have to see what I worked down for that. But all right. Sorry for being kind of sporadic and voice going in and out. But all right, so we made it through another warning, of course. So all right, I will be back on. I'll be on social media doing all reports and stuff like that. So once again, if you do see anything, send them my way. Hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's night. Hopefully, I won't have to get back on and do a live stream before Christmas. If I do, I really don't think I will. I just don't see anything severe in our future. I just see warm temperatures like crazy. Of course, when you hear that in December, you think storms. But I hope all y'all have a Merry Christmas and please enjoy it with your family and eat lots of food. I know I'm doing a little Christmas with family tomorrow since all of us really can't be in town on Christmas. So that's what our family is now with all of us getting married and having kids. So it's multiple Christmases. So once again, have a Merry Christmas. If I don't jump on live stream before then, of course, I'll put something on Facebook or all my social media posts.